Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to draw a Dalek. This was a special request from Joshua in Surrey, who's 5.5. So just for you, Joshua, let's draw the Dalek. It's quite difficult to draw a Dalek, so when something's difficult I like to do guidelines to give me an idea where the angles of my drawing are going to be on my paper. So to start off with, I'm going to draw a line down the centre of the Dalek where it's going to sit on my piece of paper. Then I'm going to try and draw an angle for this side of the Dalek. So at the top of the paper, 1.5 centimetres away from that centre line and 1 centimetre away on the other side, I've made a mark, and then at the bottom of the paper I've done 6 centimetres away from the centre on this side and 9 centimetres away on this side. So I'm going to turn my paper sideways so that you can see what I'm doing. So draw from this top mark down to the bottom. Now when you do these lines, do them faintly because they're just guidelines. I'm doing them strongly so that you can see them clearly. So this is going to give us the shape of our Dalek to draw around. So I then like to make marks on my guidelines of roughly where my Dalek is going to start and finish. And I use my pencil as a guide to work out how big parts of the Dalek are going to be. So when you've finished doing your guidelines, let's get started on the drawing. I'm going to start off with the Dalek's dome. So I'm going to make a straight line from this guideline straight across to the other guideline. This is the bottom of the Dalek's dome. And then from the centre we need to start creating the dome shape. Leave a gap and then draw a line up, around and down, and then go over from the centre and then do an angle up to the guideline, across and down to here, and then do a line across from here and curve this up to the top of the dome. Do another line next to it, straight line down to create the square. This is where the eye of the Dalek is going to come out. Now let's do the curved bottom of this little antennae thingy. Now let's draw the eye of the Dalek. So let's use a ruler to do 2 straight lines quite close to each other. And at the end of this, let's do one curved shape and then a curved shape underneath it to create this shape. 2 small lines on top, a big C shape, and then a round shape on the top of the C shape and a little C shape in the middle. Now let's do the side of the shield of the Dalek. So do a little line down and a curve, a little line down and a curve. Let's do the same on the other side. So a little line down, curve, little line down and a curve. And then 2 little curves at the bottom, and then we need to join with a dotted line that you then fill in. Now if you want to, you can use a ruler to do these straight lines, so let's tidy them up with a ruler. I'm just going to hand draw in 2 lines on here like this, and then a line on top of each of these to create those shield rims. And I'm going to straighten those with a ruler later, but I've done them freehand just so you could see how I was going to do them. Now let's do the casing or the weaponry part of our Dalek. So let's come out, draw a straight line down, line across and down. Now we're going to do the skirt of the Dalek. So if you do a straight line and a curve, a straight line and a curve, and do this 4 times following the guideline of our original triangle that we created. This will be creating the side of the skirt of the Dalek. So let's do the other side. So draw a line out and down, and then out, down, leaving a gap for his suction cap arm. And now we need to do this line across the middle. So again, dotted line across and then join together. Now we need to do a straight line and a curve, straight line and a curve, straight line and a curve, following the guideline of our original triangle, so that it looks like this. Now let's go back to the weaponry again. So let's do a straight line and some more or less box shapes along the top. Do a little line to join them, and then these sort of upside down U shapes. And then straight lines more or less down to the bottom of this midsection. At this point, almost in the middle, do a rectangular shape like this, and then we need to draw, this is his blast gun, so 2 straight lines and a circle on the top, half a circle at the bottom, and then do several lines and little angular shapes to create the shape of this blast gun. To do the arm of his suction cap, oh no, we better finish off this square first. So take the ruler and do 2 straight lines. This is going to be for his suction cup. Do a C shape on top, join together, and then do a C shape on the top of that. Let's do the skirt next. So we need to do the bottom of the fender, and then do a faint guideline to join this side of his skirt over to the other. So make sure this skirt curves and goes up, and then do another line underneath for the bottom of the fender. And then you need to do a line underneath the first line, and then another line underneath like this, and then draw curved lines in at these points. This one needs to change direction and curve this way, and then from this point we're going to join up the dots and create the lines of his skirt. So this one goes to almost in the middle, just underneath the blast gun. This last one finishes here and goes down. Now we need to put the circles of his skirt in. So I'm going to do mine freehand. when you do the edges, use your markings that you've made to create the circles, and then check that your circles are level with the top and bottom of the previous circle. Now we're going to do this row. So again, do some little guideline dots to decide how tall and wide your circle is going to be. If you have a gadget that can make circles for you, this would make it a lot easier. Unfortunately, mine were too small for the size I needed, so I've got to do mine freehand. This is very good drawing practice for you, doing these circles. So carry on drawing your circles. You need to do 4 circles down each section of his skirt and 5 rows of full circles. When you do this end row, just do little slightly curved shapes, don't do full circles. And now it's time to rub out and redraw any parts of your drawing that you're not happy with. I'm going to put a little shape in there, and I'm going to redo these lines with my ruler to make them nice and straight. And then it's time to start outlining. You don't have to do this part, but it just makes your picture nice and sharp and more effective when you colour in. And as I've outlined this, I've tried to follow more or less the pattern of how I drew the Dalek, so that you can see and be reminded of how I've done it. When you've finished outlining, rub out all of the guidelines and any pencil drawing that you can see underneath, and then it's time to start colouring in. So I chose red and grey, which these are the colours of the Supreme Dalek, but you can do Daleks, I think, in black, white with blue. I'm sure if you follow Doctor Who, you know all the different types of Daleks and your favourite colours. So colour in very carefully all the different parts. And then I finished off going around with my black pen just to sharpen up and identify bits of his weaponry. And there we have our finished Dalek. Oh my goodness! I hope you've enjoyed watching my tutorial. If you have, please like and share, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future tutorials. Good luck! I hope you survive the Dalek invasion.